Hello. Hello, hello. Oh, you know what? I just ended that stream. Hi. I'm going to see if I can see some comments going on. Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. Whatever it is for you guys. I just want to jump on here and do a testimony. I feel like it's time to share. Time to share. How is everybody? I hope you all are good. I'm sorry, I'm working on a technical thing really quickly. Just give me a second. I want to just let a few more people jump on. And I want to talk about abortion. It is something that is not talked about very much, I think, and especially among women. And I think it needs to be, because you should not hide, your struggles or your pain, and sharing it with others and putting it out there really helps others to it really helps others to be able to discern what they should do, and or just share in the same experiences. So anyway, alrighty. Let me see if I can set this up. We're gonna go live on Facebook too. How are you? I get tripped out with these comments. Okay. So let me just give me a second here. I need to write. One second, you guys. Okay, I will go fill that in later. Okay, sorry. Little technical issues, but we're back. So I just want to talk about my story, and I really hope that this inspires women and men, anyone who is thinking about abortion and just really went through an abortion or is considering one, all of the above. Here in the United States, there's crazy laws going forth, and you know what? This has nothing to do with political views or the laws that are going around, okay? It has nothing to do with that. What this has to do with is my story, and hopefully through my struggle, you can see where, it's really clear that one path led me to not so good stuff, and then another path led me to a brighter day. So sorry, I'm just having some technical stuff going on. Okay, so maybe this is gonna work now. Okay, so still working on it. Come on now. Okay, so you guys, that's better. All right. I think I might need to quiet this down, or else, oh, 1 second. Okay, technical stuff. Okay, there we go. Better. So, I want to tell my story, my abortion story, and I want to do it live on 4 different platforms because I think that one, we tend to not talk about it, and I think it needs to be talked about now, especially because the laws that are going, forth, and this has nothing to do with the laws, what's right or wrong, or any political views. No, this is my story, and I want to inspire others to tell their story or agree, or just to let other people know out there that are considering this or whatever, that you're not alone, and you always have the right to choose. And by my stories, though, I want to tell my story because it's like I always had the right to choose, but was it the right choice for me? And so, that's what's so important. And so I was 15 years old, so still in high school, living with my mom, and I found out that I was pregnant. And I think that, I mean, you just almost like can't believe that that's real, you know, at 15. You're like, what? And, the first thing that happens for me was just this horrible fear of even just having to tell my mom. That was like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't do that. Um, but not only that, like, this is what's so funny. It's what everyone else is going to say, you know, that was my first thing was, well, oh, I have to have an abortion because I wouldn't even be able to handle if I had to tell anyone else what's really going on, So that was my first thing. I was like, oh no, I'm too afraid because of what other people will think or what other people will say, or are they going to still be my friends? Are they still going to talk to me? Or are they going to talk about me behind my back? So that was the first horrifying thoughts that went through my mind. And then, of course, me being in school and my life barely just starting, it wasn't even an option really for me. Like, I can't have a child at 15. That's, I won't be able to finish school. I couldn't even tell my mom. And I'll tell you, being that young and that afraid, and that alone, when you don't have anyone to talk to about it, it becomes almost like you're hiding and running and trying to find a way to just get rid of this horrible secret. But here's what I want to say about it is like, if we were more open about this, it doesn't have to be a horrible secret. It's like babies are a blessing, you know? And I remember that my fears were, well, I wouldn't be able to finish school and I wouldn't have enough money. And how could I be a parent and this and this? But that was all just insecurities it was all lies in my own mind that pushed me towards having an abortion. Well, because I was so young and I did not tell my mom, I waited, and I didn't have a car. I didn't have a way to get to even Planned Parenthood, anything like that. So I waited and waited. And finally, a friend of my mom's came over, and I told her because I felt just comfortable enough to tell her. And she was like, we got to do something, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, but I don't want to have this scared feeling anymore. I just want it to go away. And so I chose to go ahead and have an abortion. But by the time that I could get and take a bus to get to the Medi-Cal office to get insurance to cover it, it was already, I was pretty far along. And at this time, when I was 15, they were still allowing those late term abortions. And I want to say this only because this is the law that is coming down in a lot of states, is they're allowing late term abortions again. And, you know, I'm not saying anything for or against, but what I am going to tell you is how it affected my life. And because, you know, they don't tell you what happens after you go through with something like this. They don't tell you the emotional trauma that happens to you after. They're not there for you after. So, when you go to places like Planned Parenthood and they're like, sure, oh yeah, you can have an abortion here, sign here, we'll take care of everything, blah 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 blah, here's the date, you got to schedule it and just be here, okay? And that's pretty much all they tell you. And you're just thinking, I know for me at 15, I was like, great, I just want to get there, I just want to get it done, and no one will know, then no one will ever know. And this is going to get a little bit graphic because it's important, because I did not know this stuff about late term abortions. But so when I finally got the insurance and everything went forward to go forward with it, I was 20 weeks. Okay, so that's 5 months. And like I said, they're so quick to say, yes, 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 we'll do it. But then as soon as they they don't really tell you anything that's going to happen after. And that is where the really hard stuff comes. So, and this was so important about my choices. If I would have known these things before, I may have thought twice about doing it. One, because all the fears that were going through my own mind, they were lies. And whatever anyone else is telling you around you, it's a lie. Even my mom, she was like, you're going to have to find another place to live because you can't live here and blah, blah, blah. And that was probably just her fears. And it's not about that. It's just that you have to not listen to those fears, those insecurities, those voices. And unfortunately I did, because I thought that just getting it over with and moving forward was better for me, and I could just hide it. Well, so I go in and they tell me, well, you're going to have to do, it's a 2 days. So the first day we have to actually put these pins around your cervix, and it actually dilates you. And, here's an ibuprofen and, you'll be fine. And I was like, oh, you mean this isn't going to be done today? I have to come back? And they were like, yeah. So I was like, okay. So I'm 15. I'm walking because I don't want to tell anyone I am or anything. And they put these pins around my cervix, and, they're like, ibuprofen. No. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever been in. And now I'm a single mom of 3 kids, and I know that I was in full term contractions. And I was 15, and they said, oh, you may have some cramping. And I could almost barely make it home because I had to walk, and I was in excruciating pain. And when I got home, I remember I got in the bathtub because it was hurting so bad. And the pain was so intense, I was almost vomiting because of it. And, it was like labor the entire night, and it was excruciating. And so then I went back the next day, and, they put you to sleep, and it was done. And then I woke up, and, it's almost like I instantly knew that that was the biggest mistake I had ever made in my entire life. But it's done at that point, And so the things that started happening to me after were just horrific. I actually found out how they do a late term abortion after. And especially having 3 kids of my own now, even thinking about it is terrifying. But, they actually dismember the baby. And that has really haunted me every day since then. Whenever this stuff gets brought up, you try not to think about it. And I want to say that, I went on for a few years without it bothering me. Really. I was like, oh, I finished high school, great. And then when I got a little bit older, it started to bother me when I started to see kids that would have been my child's age. These traumas started occurring, and this pain, like, oh my gosh, why would I ever do something? Like, I don't care what I would have ever had to have gone through. Homeless, whatever. Like, the pain of knowing what I did to this baby that was mine. It was, and still is really, really traumatizing. And it has taken me a lot of working through it myself. I mean, I'm 38 now. And like I said, I have 3 kids, but it's still really, I just think, gosh, if I would have known, if I would have heard some of the truth of how it affects you the rest of your life, maybe I would have said, I would rather figure out, I mean, I could always figure out how to make a little bit of extra money, or I could always go live over here, or, and knowing what I know now is pretty amazing, is that, when you choose a path that may not be what everyone else around you is saying you should do, but it is, right in your path and by God's eyes, then He will stand up for that and take care of you. And sometimes it does not look like it right away. And I'll explain with as my story goes on. So that was my first story. And like I said, if I would have known some of those things, I probably would not have gone through with it. I would have told people and just sucked it up and let them freak out for a minute, but that minute would be over. But see, the trauma that from that abortion has been lifelong. Like I said, I'm 38 now, and it's still is pain. I know that I'm forgiven and I forgive myself, but it's still something that really pulls at me. So, okay. So later I have my 2 boys that are just amazing. And the boys' dad and I had split up, and we were going through a really rough breakup, and it had been 4 years. And there was domestic violence going on there. And, I'm just going to be really honest with this. He made me afraid to date again. And he made me afraid to, basically he told me if I ever was with another man or had children with another man, he'd come find me, and it wasn't going to happen. So that was fear, and so I finally started dating after 4 years, and found out that I was pregnant again. And that terror just shook my world of how in the world, because, he's going to find out, what is he going to do? How's that going to work? And so I started contemplating abortion again, especially being a single mom of 2 children and barely being able to survive financially in Southern California by myself. That was terrifying. And I couldn't believe that I was even thinking about having an abortion at that age, 36 or whatever. I was like, that's crazy. But at the same time, it was like, I mean, I just couldn't see through that. It seemed like the best path. So I went to a Planned Parenthood and I inquired about the abortion pill, and they're like, oh yeah, it's so much easy. It's not like those late-term abortions. You just take a pill and then it's done. But, you need to schedule right now, because if you don't, then you're going to be past this certain time frame, and then we won't be able to do the pill abortion. You'll have to do a surgical abortion. And I had already been so traumatized from that I was like, oh, no. So I scheduled to do the pill one because I was just terrified. And so I go, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm even thinking about doing this again. I can't believe, like, oh, this is crazy, And the whole time I was just like, this is not right. This is not right. But it was like I just couldn't see a path through the fear. Okay. And that's all it is fear. And it's everyone around you telling you, you're not going to be able to do it financially. You're not going to be able to do this. And, oh, this person's going to come after you. And this, and it was just like, you just want it to go away. But see, it never really goes away because either you man up and tell people and just stand there and whatever they do is whatever they're going to do, or you hide it and then internally you literally self-destruct because of how painful it is to hide something like that. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. And, I think as women, we really need to be like there for each other and be honestly like putting this information out there because it's not, they tell you, oh yeah, it's so quick and easy. And, you can get back to your life, but that's not the truth. You don't get back to your life, maybe a little while before it starts to really get to you, but then it does get to you, and you start going through trauma and some hurts. And sometimes you don't even know that that's what the reason is. I'm not kidding you. Sometimes you don't even realize, you're self-sabotaging, you're having depression, and you don't realize it's because of an abortion from 20 years ago. Seriously. So I went in and they're like, okay, yeah, here's the pill. And the whole time I was like, this isn't right. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And, it's so non-emotional in those places. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you're just going to go right to the gym after. Oh, okay, here's your pill. Okay, have a great day. And you're just like, okay, and the lady sits there and she's like, take your pill. And so I did. Okay, so I took the abortion pill. And this was when I was 36 years old, and fear made me follow that path because money, and I didn't know where I was going to live and how I was going to do it and all this kind of stuff. And so I took the pill, and when I left there, I instantly knew it was a huge mistake. It's like, your mind swirls around it for so long. And then as soon as you make that decision and it seems like it's done, then instantly it's like, it hit me. It was like, that was the biggest mistake I ever made. Okay, so I ran home, and I remember seeing a picture of my two little boys. They were like 1 and 2 years old, little toddler pictures. And I fell on my knees and I was like, God, please help me. I just took an abortion pill and that was the biggest mistake of my life. Please help me. Like, I don't want to do this again. And I'm not kidding you. Instantly in my mind, it was like, go Google abortion pill reversal. And I was like, what? Like, my mindset, I was like, that's not a thing. Is that a thing? That's a thing. So I go Google it and it's a thing. And I was like, what? So I sat there for about a second and I was like, abortion pill reversal. Crazy, right? So I called the 800 number, and this amazing nurse takes care of me. And she's like, it's okay. Like, I'm here for you. I know what's going on. Just relax. And they just start working on your behalf, and they get you this medicine that actually counteracts that abortion pill, and this is what they don't tell you about the abortion pill, is that you take the first pill and then you go home and you literally sit there for 24 to 48 hours before you take the second pill, which actually disposes of the baby. Okay. That's like, so having to even sit there and think for 24 to 48 hours, I was going crazy already, going, this is a huge mistake. What in the world? This is crazy. Like, I can't do this again. So sitting there is probably the most torturous thing too, having to sit there and just spin in your head. So they got me the medicine immediately. They called the pharmacy. They got me the medicine, I think within an hour. and it starts counteracting that abortion pill. And basically, it's not the first pill that does anything. The first pill actually just starts breaking down your uterus lining. So it's basically like cutting off the oxygen and food to the baby. And then the second pill actually just disposes of it. So it makes you flush it out. But see, these are things that they don't actually tell you. And it is pretty horrific and traumatizing, and I always felt that I was a strong-minded, strong-willed. I mean, I always felt like really strong. So anyway, that was interesting. So then I had to wait another 2 days to go into this clinic, which is Obria Medical Center, to get a, let me see if I can plug that in, to get an ultrasound and to see if the baby still was alive. And I went to Obria Medical Center, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about Obria. If you're in Southern California, they are phenomenal. They, I think that Planned Parenthood is more like, they're more for abortion. They always were with me. They would push more that. But where Obria is more, they really want to help you and guide you with the correct information, and not to guide you in any way, shape, or form, but they really have all those free services as well, but they will truly help you. And if you decide to keep a baby and, things aren't going well in your life, they will help you. I can't even tell you. So anyway, I go in, and the baby's alive. And I was just thanking God. And I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. And anyway, she is my miracle child. And I tell you, because at first, all of my fears, they happened. My ex found out about it. He started going crazy. Everything happened, but yet it was all just screaming and yell, but nothing actually happened. Everything that I was so afraid of, it did happen. He freaked out and he went crazy, but I just stood there and I went, what are you gonna do? And it was like, it was over. And then I became homeless. That was one of my biggest fears. Like, how am I going to live with 3 kids on my own? And I became homeless. But Obria Medical Center, they raised $5,000 for me in 2 days. And my kids and I were able to stay in a little nice hotel that had a kitchen and everything for the exact day. Like, they raised enough money to the exact day that I needed the money for. Okay, that is a God thing. And they didn't just take care of me with going forth and having the baby, but after the baby. So Zoe was 3 months old, and they literally raised money for me. So it wasn't just a clinic that was like, oh, here, bye, but no. They called me. They checked in on me. They helped me. They gave me resources whenever I needed. And they are just wonderful. So, if you're looking for another place other than Planned Parenthood that really cares and will help you to get what you need, it's Obria Medical Center, okay? And so, but if I would have gone through with the abortion, I still would have become homeless because it had nothing to do with her. Why? But the reason that we made it through was because of the people that I met going through the abortion pill reversal. What? It was like all of my fears, they did start happening, but yet it was everything was taken care of and okay because I didn't have the abortion, because I had her. And so it was like everything since then too has just been really miraculous in the sense that because I had Zoe, it was like we all have been able to come back to life. So, I just wanted to share this also because I want the word to get out about abortion pill reversal. And yes, it is a thing. And, if you have if you take the abortion pill 24, 48 hours, it doesn't matter. Call them. You can Google them. They're all over the country. They have nurses, local nurses that will help you get the medicine. Okay. And it is just amazing. And if you're afraid about where you're going to live or what you're going to do, trust me, when you choose the path that it seems not right, because everyone may be saying things around you, but you know it's the path of like life for you, because you're the one who has to deal with that trauma. And trust me, Zoe is the most amazing thing in the world. And I'm so glad that she's with me. I wouldn't have it any other way. She's amazing. But when you go that way, it's just like those things do happen, but you see how it's like they're just kind of taken care of for you. And it's a whole new world for you after that. So I just wanted to share this because there's so much, kind of like going around on who's right and who's wrong. And, it's not about that. It's really not. It's about what the truth is in what and how it pained me. So I wanted to share that, um, and so, if you're a woman or a man out there and you know that this experience, you've been through something similar, I just ask you to please share, comment, share. And if you're a woman who you don't have to tell your story, okay, I know it is hard to openly speak about this. It is, but just say, I agree and share it. Or, just say, good job and share it or something, just so that people out there know that you are, it's, it's the truth, And so I hope this has encouraged you guys. And I just love you. And I hope you have a great day. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.